I've learned a thing or two just from trial and error and experiencing different types of hunts, different ways to hunt. And I've learned a few things along the way on how to outsmart ducks when they get super smart, or nothing's going right. You got to pull out every trick you got to make the birds work. A lot of times for us, that's kind of late November, early December time frame where we get that first little push in. They stay around for a while because it's pretty mild weather, and then, basically waiting for that next big cold front to come through in December, push those birds out and get new birds in. So today I want to teach you guys a trick that I like to use when it comes to some of those tougher hunts. And I think of one that I went on last year on a piece of public flooded corn hunt, and it was just like stale birds. Like we knew we were gonna hunt that day, we knew where we were gonna plan to hunt, and it was one of those deals where it's just like, we gotta outsmart these ducks. We gotta think methodically through the process on what we want to do to make this hunt as successful as possible, because the kill numbers weren't great for the past week. The birds were really stale. They're kind of getting a little nocturnal. They knew what was going on because they've been there for so long. And this trick actually gave us the success that we needed for that day. Number one, your hide is everything. If you guys are looking to find more success in the field, regardless of what you're doing, deer, turkey, waterfowl, your hide is the most important thing. My suggestion is to think through the spot that you're gonna be hunting. A lot of times I've talked to the people I'm hunting with, we think things through. We're like, okay, here's our options. We're looking at onX, thinking things through. We could hide here, we could hide here, and that's how we decide where to hunt. We don't think of, this is where the ducks are, let's hunt there. If there's a good hide, then yeah. But if you are thinking through your hunt before and planning it, you need to think about where your hide is and how you're gonna hide. That could be with an A-frame, it could be with a layout blind, or one of my personal favorites, especially on public, is a fast strike. I just started using one of those this year and I absolutely love it. But it's a great tool to basically bring your hide with you. You can go out and just sit next to a tree or build a brush blind and make that work, but you wanna make sure you're doing as best as you can to stay hidden in the field, because that is the number one thing that will make the difference between ducks coming in or ducks kind of coming and dipping out. Your hide is the most important thing. Number two, this is a trick that I absolutely love to do simply because it's a little bit less work, but downsizing your spread, it makes a huge difference. I've done big spreads and I've done small spreads, and I've found kind of my happy spot most of the time is between 2 to 4 dozen decoys. But when things start to get really tough, I downsize the spread, because if I can downsize the spread, I can do a few different things, and that's going to roll us into the next few points of this video. But yeah, think about your decoy spread. Maybe think about what decoys you have. Maybe your better looking decoys, those are going to help you out quite a bit. And think about maybe coot decoys or some other confidence decoys. We did that same hunt I talked about earlier. We did a dozen fully flocked mallards, 4 water motion decoys, and like a dozen or 2 dozen coot decoys, and it made a huge difference. Like, it worked fantastic. So think of ways that you can downsize your spread or set your spread up differently than what these ducks have been seeing. So like, if there's a lot of coots, get you some coot floaters, throw some coot floaters out there. Or just think about maybe adding some pintail decoys in to get that white. Differentiate your spread and downsize. That's a huge thing that can help you out, because if it's a still morning, there's not a lot of wind, and you got 5 to 7 dozen decoys out there just sitting there not moving, it's no good. So downsizing your spread leads me into my next point, which is adding motion to your spread. When you have a small spread, you can add a lot more motion, and it's gonna look like a lively bunch of ducks. Big spreads draw a lot of attention, but lively ducks, lively decoy spreads, that draws even more attention. So adding spinning wing decoys is probably not the best idea when it comes to hunting pressured birds or anything later in the season where the birds are just getting a little bit smart, getting a little shy. I would pull the spinners, but add a bunch of water motion decoys, whether that's agitators, swimmers, or even just a good old-fashioned jerk rig. Those are fantastic tools to use. When you downsize your spread, your decoys are all going to be moving, especially if you have a dozen decoys and 2 agitators, little spitters, and maybe a swimmer, man, you are set. Or even a dozen decoys and 4 of them are on a jerk rig, and just set that jerk rig up in the middle of your spread to where the ripples will move all the other decoys, it's just gonna draw a lot of attention with that motion to your spread, away from your blind, get those ducks focused on those decoys on the water and away from the blind, and that's gonna help you out a lot with decoying more birds and getting those finicky, wary, late season pressured birds to come and commit to your spread. And like I said earlier, with spinning wing decoys, we love them. They work great when they work, but I think later in the season, personally, my personal experiences, my personal opinion is I'm more apt to pull that spinner and not bring the spinner out. Just because I feel like the water motion decoys throw off a lot of splash, especially the spitters, the agitators. They'll throw water up in the air and it catches sunlight, and it works kind of like a spinner would, but it's something different. Everybody and their dog has a spinner stuck in the middle of their decoy spread, so make a point to maybe differentiate your spread. Think through, like, what is Joe Blow 200 yards setting up, and how can I make my spread look better than his? And sometimes not using a spinner is the way to go. And my last point, and this is the key to late season success or just tough birds in general. That hunt that I was talking about earlier, these were the stars of the show. This is the live fully flocked mallards. If you guys do want to pick some of these up, I'll leave a link down below. Same with anything from Rogers. If you guys want to use a link to give me some credit for your purchase at Rogers Sporting Goods, there's a link down below. And you could also just use the coupon code OUTDOORLIMITS. It's not a coupon, but it just lets them know that I sent you to their store. But anyways, yeah, fully flocked mallards, fully flocked decoys in general, they are a great option. They just look really good. They don't shine, and especially on a downsized spread, if these start to move around with a swimmer or agitator or just a jerk rig, man, they're gonna look really good. The sun hits them, they look awesome, and I mean, just these in a little hole of ice on a marsh, you can't beat it. So do everything in your power to think differently, downsize your spread, hide better, and present a better decoy spread. That's gonna be the ticket to success in the field. If things are tough, you got late season birds, stale birds, pressured birds, and you're just trying to find the best success that you can, do everything in your power to do it. So my recommendation is just pick up a dozen fully flocks. Don't use them all the time. Save them for the days where you know you're gonna need them. That's why I have these. I mean, you guys don't really see these in the videos all that much because I don't break them out unless I need to. So that is my secret weapon right here. This is my secret late season weapon, my secrets to finding success when things get tough. So if you guys are into duck hunting and you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you haven't already, leave me a thumbs up. It helps out a lot. It helps me reach all these new people to educate on duck hunting and teach them the tricks and tactics to find success in the field, because we have to inspire the next generation of hunters, and this is probably the best place to do it. So if you guys haven't already, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know down below what you guys like to use when things get tough. What is your tactic that you go to when things are tough and the birds are just not wanting to finish and they're wary, they're stale, and they're tough to hunt. But that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.